पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम, पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम, पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We'll chant from 54 to 60.
अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधिः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते। दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। यदा संहरते चायम् कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते। यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः।
Verse 54 twice.
अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधिः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्। अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधिः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्।
So until now, Sri Krishna was explaining the how ordinary man becomes a yogi, sannyasi, and a self-realized soul. In the last verse, he explained the technique of meditation with the caution that a person who is fit for meditation is a person who has already dropped bulk of his desires. That was covered in until verse 52. Right. Okay. So in 53, he says, when your intellect perplexed by what has heard. So here he is talking about meditation itself, where your mind slowly dies because there is no thought flow, and your intellect also disappears because there's nothing to decipher, there's nothing to distinguish. So in the last stages of meditation, you chant Om, silence, Om, silence. You stop the chanting. There is no thought flow. Thought flow is mind, right? There is no thought flow. So if you're in silence, mind is gone, and there is intellect which was supervising that thought flow. Mind, thought and silence, thought and silence. Intellect is perplexed, as it were, in the sense it has nothing to do anymore. It has no purpose. There is no mind. So, no intellect. So now the question is, sir, am I reaching that state whenever I'm meditating? Of course not. Yeah, of course, you're not reaching that state. Your mind doesn't disappear. It's like, I wonder if anybody can have no thoughts, first of all. Uh, it's just that when you're drunk, you have less thoughts. Doesn't mean your thoughts are gone, right? Why do you think a drunk person is happy? Because less thoughts agitating him. So the
Just
mind
starting,
numbed.
Vivek.
Sorry?
Can't hear you.
Okay. One second. Let me connect to my phone network then.
No, we cannot hear you
Yes,
properly.
I'm connecting to a different network once again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Your video is off.
I know, I'm not sure. Let me try the video and see if it gets stuck, then I'll switch off the video. Right. So what we were discussing is just because you meditate doesn't mean your mind is gone. Your mind is there. The thoughts are there, right? So after offloading bulk of your desires, then it's possible because there's nothing much disturbing that person. There's not many desires where the mind goes, right? Now, that is verse 53. Then he attains a state of self-realization. Intellect is perplexed, he says, that we discussed last time. Now, now the thing starts. And now the Bhagavad Gita starts. Arjuna is fascinated by this concept. I wonder how many of us are fascinated by this. But Arjuna is definitely fascinated. ये क्या है?
Concept of meditation.
No, concept of a self-realized soul. ये कौन है? ऐसे भी होते हैं क्या? Like, what does it mean? Self-realization. See, yeah, I am not in that state. So, whatever I understood from my guru, I'm telling you. So, what does it mean, self-realization? क्या है ये? See, See, everything that we know is just body, mind, intellect, and the world. Acha, sir, I know what is happening in Mars. Acha, good, good. It's in the world. Sir, I know what is happening inside a cell. Amazing. But it's the world. Sir, I know what happens at the edge of the universe. You know, there's a lot of stars that we can see. Whatever the visible universe is there, I know there are more stars there. Acha, acha. Amazing. Sir, I know how this extraordinary math equation to solve. Incredible. You may know everything, but whatever you know is in the periphery of this universe. You will not know why the universe. Sir, Big Bang. Array. How the universe nahi? Whether that is right or not, I don't know. How nahi? Why? क्यों हुआ? Sir, ये क्यों है हम? क्यों है world? Why are the trees there? Why are the insects there? Why is the world there? Why is everything there? Why shouldn't it be that nothing should be there? Why not nothing is there? Why this whole jhanjat of the world and life? Have you ever thought about this? Has anybody thought like that? Why this universe? Life ही क्यों है? I don't know. I don't know if any of you have thought about that. अगर लाइफ ही नहीं रहता तो this all this is not necessary. Why should there be a life? Imagine there was nothing. What is there to imagine? Who is imagining? ये सब क्या है? You know, there is a there is a song by Indian Oceans called है तमाशा है क्या? ये तमाशा क्या हो रहा है? ये तमाशा है क्या? Why is this? Whatever you can understand is within this. A self-realized soul, I'm just giving you an idea, has understood why this is. So he's not a human being in a sense of how we understand. He's extraordinary. Extraordinary also an intellectual term. He's beyond that. You can't understand him. You can't fathom his existence. Is he existing? That is the first question. What is existence? So, if you had followed Krishna until now, you would have that question. Kya? What is he saying? How can a person be like that without desire? Then what are you? How are you a human being? Human beings means desires. Human being equals thought, or else you're a rock. How can a man exist or a woman exist without thoughts? My goodness. So he's asking Arjuna. Arjuna Uvacha. What is the description of the one of steady wisdom, sthita prajna, merged in the superconscious state, O Keshava? And he asks three peculiar questions because he's inquisitive. How does one of steady wisdom speak, sit, and walk? Such a strange question. Okay, I understand. You asking about the self-relation. Why are you concerned of how he speaks? Does he speak English, Hindi, German, French? How does he speak? Accent क्या है? Is he asking that? How does he sit? Does he sit with his spine erect or does he just slouch? How does he sit? How does he walk? What is his gait? He walks like a fashion model or he walks like a fat man or a thin man. How does he walk? What kind of question is this? This question, the ignorant misuse it. How do they misuse it? You know what? Sir, I am a great Swami. So I talk in a lower tone. I don't talk like no. You ask a question, I smile. Good question. Every question is sacred. Not many movements. You should not, oh, no. He has to sit straight. So we have an idea. God knows who gave that idea. How a self-realized soul should be. How? He should speak in lower tones. If he's angry, no, he is not self-realized. Self-realized soul cannot get angry. So, he doesn't show that. Doesn't have that. Or, how does he walk? He walks slowly. You will never see a self-realized soul run or jog. If he's jogging, how can he be self-realized? Right? How does he walk? Aram se. No frisk walking. You see in parks now, our old people walk fast. No, they are not self-realized.
I to lost you at anger only. I said, Abhi to I can never be. Girls get angry means it's over.
How can you be self-realized if you get angry? See, these are the ideas that we have got, that we have been bombarded with. Why? Because I don't know. I have no idea why we have these ideas that an evolved soul would behave, you know, in such and such a way. He asked that question. How does he speak? Speaks means vacha, means how does he act? How does he act means not in a movie. How does he act generally? What does he do? What are his external actions? How does he take up work? How does he sit? Upanishad means near below sit. How does he sit? Sit means what? When you sit, that means you're stationary. You are in your own thoughts. That's what it means. Sit means what is happening inside you. So, what does he think? What does he feel? How does he? Third one, walk. How is his interaction with the world? When you walk, you meet. You walk in the world, you meet people, you meet circumstances. How is his interaction with the external world? Kim prabhasheta? How does he speak? Speak means organs of action, right? Mouth is an organ of action. Means how does he act? Will he be punishing, will he be forgiving? See, you see Bhagwan Ram or Bhagwan Krishna, you would be confused. Both are self-realized. You'd be confused. ये क्या है? They are intentionally given that idea to us. Conflicting personalities, almost like the way they behave, the way they talk. Just to make you understand that there is no standard. A self-realized soul is not a person who walks slowly and talks slowly. It's not a person it's not that he's not a person who speaks loudly, who speaks vociferously, who acts, who jogs, who does bungee jumping. I don't know. You cannot tell. Hence he's asking. Kim Asita, what is happening, thinking within him? Kim Vrajeta, how he contacts the world, what is happening in his interaction. In effect, he's asking, how does the infinite express in the finite? That is why, what is the color of Rama and Bhagwan Ram and Bhagwan Krishna?
Orange?
Hey,
Blue.
blue. What do they wear? Yellow, isn't it? Pitambari means what? Yellow. Blue person wearing a yellow garment. I mean, first of all, is it possible to be a blue person?
Oh, that's why yellow is so auspicious in India.
Why? Blue means sky, means infinite.
I
Yellow,
thought yellow was auspicious because it
yellow
represents
is
Haldi.
earth.
Oh,
See, if you keep a white cloth in the mud, it will become almost yellowish. Generally, yellow is connected to this earth. So, earth means finite. How does the infinite express in the finite? That is Lord Rama and Bhagwan Krishna. Everywhere, only I think, except for that Ayodhya, everywhere the sculptures of Bhagwan Ram is wrong. Everywhere it's wrong. Have anybody been to Ayodhya? I have not been, but I've seen.
I've been
What is the
2 months.
color of the putla there, sculpture there?
Everything
Black.
is white.
Black.
Black.
Are
Arey means it's black in color.
the whole mandir is white, pristine
Mandir
white.
nahi, the sculpture, the deity. The deity's color is black.
Wow, I thought it's white.
Mm. So black means actually blue.
But I thought black is very inauspicious. So it would not be
Why?
black.
Why?
I don't know. I heard
A
that.
tall, dark, and handsome, na?
I know you're mixing context.
How is black inauspicious?
I thought the color black is like people don't want to wear black on
Nothing.
occasion.
Nothing. It's a superstitions.
Superstition.
Black cat. Why black cat? What did why the
Poor
white
cat.
cat is not superstitious?
Correct.
Cat is a cat. Black or white में उसने क्या किया? This is all superstition. We have to go through. See, even superstitions sometimes may have some meaning to it, but mostly it's a superstition. Right. This is what he's asking. Kim prabhasita, kimasita, kim vrajeta. ठीक है? 55.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोरथान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोरथान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. Now, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Lord, the God said, Vacha, Prajahati. Jahati means to cast away, to give up, to throw. Prajahati means to completely throw. Completely cast off when one, see, this is the answer, right? When one completely Prajahati casts off, O Partha, Kunti Putra, all desires of the mind and is Atmanyevatmana Tustaha, meaning Tustaha, satisfied in Atma, meaning in himself, by himself. Is satisfied within himself. Then is one said to be of Sthita Prajna. He's answering each question now. Who is Sthita Prajna? One who is completely given, not given up, completely given up desires, and he is satisfied within himself. So, God, Brahman, plus desires equal man, man minus desires equals Brahman, God. Sarvan Kama is the thing, is the question. All desires, completely. Prajahati, completely. When do you cast off all desires? Not completely. When do we do that? We cast off all desires. When do we do that? Regularly.
When you sleep at night.
When what sleep is this? You have to
Deep sleep.
define. Deep sleep. In deep sleep, you cast off all desires.
Don't have
And
desires.
you are happy. Everybody loves the deep sleep. You like sleep. You like sleep not because of dreams. You like sleep because of deep sleep. Because, no tension. You forget the entire universe. You forget that you even exist. क्या बात है? कितना मजा है, कितना मजा. You know?
Vivek, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you know if you've managed to reduce any desires? Or is this something your intellect will tell you?
No. How you know the answer? How do you think you will know?
No, is it, for example, let's say I had a lot of interest in shopping for clothes,
Mm,
but I find it is reduced now a lot. It's hardly there.
mm.
I may have a lot of interest in going out to new restaurants. It's hardly there. It's really reduced. Is that, does that mean those desires have reduced, or does it mean something else? I'm misreading it.
Now, that's one good way of looking at it, is you go to the area of weakness and see if it affects you. Now that you're saying, I go to a shopping mall, see, that's what I think. Don't know who said, one of these American or Western philosophers said, uh, you should be able to go through a mall and not buy and come out satisfied. That's the test of your desires. So if you want to buy anything, that means there's some problem. So, so you go to a mall and you don't feel the need to shop. You hear about a new restaurant. You don't feel the thing that, okay, मेरे को जाना है, खाना है. Somebody takes you or somebody comes at your home, you would prefer that new restaurant, let's try it out. But there's no like, Arey, let somebody come so we can try, you know? If that is not there, then obviously you have grown out of it. That's one way to test.
Or even better, I add it to cart and I leave it.
So that's
If I just,
Vivek, that, if I may interrupt, that would mean reduction in the intensity of desire. It will not mean eliminating the desire.
correct.
yeah,
Correct.
correct.
You cannot.
Correct.
Here we are talking where you have absolute. You completely give up the desire.
No,
There
no,
is,
Anilji. I'm very far from that, Anilji. I'm just trying to gauge whether I have
No,
managed
I
to.
suffer from the same. Should I say phenomenon like you? So I am myself trying to see how I could overcome it.
it is, see, I'll give you another example. It is possible to completely get over that desire also. For example, see, can I say for sure, you all can, attest to yourself and say that I am sure that I don't have any value for toys or a Barbie doll or I don't know, maybe a car. Hot Wheels was very, I was to really think about Hot Wheels to buy those small cars. I can. I can definitely say I don't have that desire anymore. So it's definitely possible as the intensity reduces, there'll be a state where you're out of it. But the fact that intensity is reduced itself is a sign of reduction of desire. When will it happen? Doesn't matter anymore.
So it's actually reduction of desire. It's not
It
just
is.
aging.
It is.
It's not just getting older.
No, no. Intensity is gone means reduction of desire. The Trishna has to be gone, has to go. The Trishna is gone. There'll be a little bit here and there, but that's okay because even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't bother.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. If I
Doesn't bother.
missed a sale, it doesn't bother me.
So, so that means you definitely have grown out of that desire for whatever reasons. So when he says Sarvan Kaman Prajahati, you cannot pluck a desire and throw it out of your system. You would be understanding this, misunderstanding this as, अच्छा मुझे desire छोड़ना है. नहीं, you cannot छोड़ो a desire. That is not possible. You can grow out of it because you understand certain other things in life. There is a better appreciation of other things which would make you more wiser, I would say, and then not meddle or dwell in the things that used to bother you, that used to attract you.
It's like the let go of the lower ideal and higher ideal while you chase, right? So you
No, when you chase, you let go of the lower. See, for example, after a while, when you are intellectually analyzing your personality and studying Vedanta and all that, you just lose interest in gossip. It's not that you're not you're not trying to be there in that position. You're not pushing yourself not to gossip. It's just that you don't have that interest, because when you gossip, see, one of the understanding would be you have understood that when I gossip, it's a perspective I'm listening to. It's not a fact. See, a person must have done something. You would never know why. You may assume, you may postulate why, but your postulation of why he must have done is your postulation. It has happened so many times that I've thought that this person is thinking like this, hence the reaction. And luckily, later on, I happened to talk to that person, and his thought process was completely out of what I was thinking. It was such a revealing thing, because I was pretty sure this expression means this thought. And the reason he has done is completely out of opposite of what I was thinking. Then over the years, you understand, okay, a person A is talking about person B, and this is what he has done or she has done like this. You are just listening to one interpretation. So you just lose interest anymore because it's not a fact. See, gossiping you know more about a person who gossips than who he or she is gossiping about in a gossip. It's very interesting. When somebody gossips, you would know more about that person, what she's saying about the other person. You would know less about that other person, because you don't know what he or she is thinking and doing. So as you grow in wisdom, certain things lose interest. You lose interest in certain things. Hence you drop. Hence you completely drop. This Sthita Prajna understood the absolute value. The entire world he says, is a Maya. It's like a snake on the rope. The image of snake on the rope. So it's just futile worrying about the snake. So he understands that. So he casts off all the fears, attachments, and all the perceptions of the snake. So absolute fulfillment comes from absolute understanding. Now, Atmanyevatmana tushtaha. So happy within himself. That means he has no dependency on the world. Every moment we are dependent on the external world for internal satisfaction. You're dependent on what your friend thinks about you. You're dependent on what the auto rickshaw guy thinks about you. You're dependent on what your partner thinks about you. You're dependent on what your child thinks about you. You're dependent on what your mother-in-law thinks about you. Dependent on everything. Even a stranger, what he thinks about you, you're dependent on that. Yes, sir, Raviji.
Yeah, but there are some basic things for which you are dependent on others, like for example, food which is put on the table, the water which comes in your house, etc., etc. All these basic needs. So, can we make a blanket statement that we have to stop dependent on others?
No, no, he is not saying that. He is Atmanye and Atmana Tushti for happiness. What you're talking about is basic needs. The entire world is codependent, give and take. But emotionally, when you talk, there is no dependency there for him. For his internal satisfaction, he is not dependent on others. For his happiness, he doesn't depend on others. For his sustenance, he does. There's a difference.
So,
We are
in
talking
other
about.
words, sorry to interrupt. In other words, you could say that for your happiness, you are not dependent on others. Even when you are hurt, when you are sad, you are not dependent on others. That is the mantra, or that is the basic tenet. Is that right?
So he is not hurt. Hurt means there is a dependency. Something you wanted in such a way, it didn't happen, you get hurt. There is no hurt for him. See, we are talking about absolute state. Relatively, we can understand. But he is talking about absolute here. Atmanya Atmanatushri means he is not dependent on the external world. Now, physically also, if you don't give him food, he is not dependent. It doesn't hurt him. Nothing hurts him emotionally. His body will get hurt. He'll lose muscle mass. All that will happen. But he's not emotionally dependent on anything.
ये कैसे बनना है विवेक?
That is the thing. That is why Arjuna is saying, ये कैसे है? How is this guy? How is he even existing? What kind of a person is he? Is
I
it
think it's a
possible?
myth.
Ah,
Bhagwan ji, or it's a myth.
he is Bhagwan. What else? You can't use any other word for him. Sthita Prajna is Bhagwan himself. Is that so? A Chinese philosopher says, is that so? Indian philosopher says, Tatakim. So what? Sir, they say all these nasty things about you. Tatakim. तो क्या
I
हुआ?
like that one. This too shall pass. That one I remember. Swamiji used to say. If I get very distressed, I try and remember that. This too
Right.
shall pass.
Is that so? Even this shall pass. See, there's a difference. There's a slight difference between even this shall pass and is that so. See, even this shall pass. See,
Hmm.
now that you bring about it, there is an acceptance that there is a sorrow, and there is an understanding that this sorrow will pass away. Right?
Correct.
Is that so? Is sorrow आया तो क्या? There is no expectation that it will pass. He doesn't even care, even if it doesn't pass. so, you see, there's another level. We are just discussing now. Since you said it, I thought about it.
I
There's
have
another
reduced
level of
intensity.
understanding there.
I have reduced intensity. I'm not a desireless person or
Ah, okay,
anything.
that's
So
different.
I'm
But
at this too shall pass. I'm not at is that so.
but the thing is, a complete understanding of how this world functions will necessitate you to say, is that so? Because the world is Dvanda, space of opposites. It will be what it will be. So what? This happens to me, so what? I am not this body BMI at all. So what if it happens to you? It's like exactly like something happens to a stranger in, I don't know, Timbuktu. Or, it doesn't matter. It's not happening to me. Similarly, if something happens to the BMI, doesn't matter. It's not happening to me. I am the self. So It's not indifference, it's just understanding. Not me, right? So what? Renunciation is growth. Renunciation is not giving up. You cannot force something out of your system. Spiritual evolution comes when you and I understand that this is my system. First of all, we are not in terms with who we are. We want us to be different all the time, not knowing that what we are is okay. We have no idea what we are, but we want something else for us. Spiritual evolution is a work in progress where at some day, sometime in 10, 20, 30, 50 years, maybe at the nearing of our death or maybe next Janma, at least we'll understand who we are. We are okay with us. Once you're okay with yourself, then there is some change. Then you know what is something that I can achieve, where I can go. Wherever you go, what was bothering you doesn't bother you anymore. See, physical problems don't affect you when you're emotionally involved. You see that, right? When you're emotional, when emotions come, physical things don't matter. For emotion, you will do many sacrifices physically. Right? It comes very naturally to you. It's not that you physically sacrifice. No, when you talk to a person who has physically sacrificed many things, he will not consider himself a great renunciate generally. मैंने ये किया वो किया ये किया. He just did it because he had to take care of his family. Emotionally invested. When a person is intellectually invested, emotional things also don't really bother him much. I said hi to my wife is not saying hi. I have to crack this code, mathematical code, or I need to find out this discovery, or I'm involved in this invention, or I'm involved in this concept, or I'm involved in this betterment of the society through these rules and regulations. If you're intellectually involved, emotional things don't affect you. This is true. Emotion affects you because you're not intellectually engaged. I'm lonely, nobody talks to me. Why don't they call me? I have to only call them, is it all the time? They never call me. This is all emotional. You are there because there's no higher thing for you. There's no intellectual engagement. Similarly, when you're engaged in the self, the concept of self, even intellectual ups and downs don't bother you. So he has given up intellectual, physical, emotional needs. Hence he is Atmanyeva Atmanatrishti. He is of steady wisdom. Steady wisdom. All the time. Not sometimes you're very happy, sometimes you're not. Sometimes these things don't affect you, sometimes it affects you. Same thing affects you. It's not mood based, it's wisdom based. Okay. Next. दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. How does he sit? So what's happening? Second question here. What's happening within his mind? He whose mind is not agitated by sorrow, nor excited by joy, who is free from desire, fear and anger, he is called sage of steady wisdom. We have almost covered this in the previous verse. So first comes the understanding of who you are and the settlement with that personality. You're okay with your personality. You're okay with your goods. You're okay with your bads. There is no judgment on your personality. You don't judge yourself anymore. I don't know how else to explain this. You need to be in semblance with yourself. You need to be in tune with yourself first. ये हूं मैं, मुझे कोई expectations नहीं है. ऐसा क्यों नहीं हूं? This is what I am. See, it is not an intellectual understanding. It is, but there has to be an emotional settlement there. You need to settle with yourself first. Then you pitch up an ideal. We do not know ourselves. We try to do this, try to do that. Whatever we do, it is not growth. You cannot sacrifice this personality. They say love yourself, something like that. But what does it mean? You have to be in tune with yourself first. There is no pretension. You don't want to impress people anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's no thought, there's no push in you कि मैं ऐसे ऐसे बिहेव करूं so that ऐसे ऐसे impress हो जाए. ये क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में? There is nothing like that. See, this takes time. It's not a normal process. It's not one thought that settles you with yourself. This is the thing. Once you settle with yourself, then, or in the same process, you must do this as well. Try and actively settle with yourself and at the same time pitch up a higher goal. Then the mind is not agitated by sorrow or joy, excited by joy. Meaning, if there is something higher, the lower ups and downs don't affect you. That's what he's saying. The higher may affect you. This is a process, right? When something doesn't work there, it may affect you. But when you are anchored there, what happens underneath that doesn't affect you. That is a fact. So once you go there, you pitch up something else higher. I heard that there is a epidemic of loneliness nowadays. Very interesting. Mostly people from the age of 26, 27 are feeling lonely. Now, interesting part is they may be alone, they may not be alone. Just a second. I need to just. Right. So you may be alone or you may be in company, but you still feel lonely. Why did I decide to talk about this?
An epidemic of loneliness is there around.
So I heard the way to beat that is very interesting. I would should maybe think about it a little bit more. Is to mostly people wallow in their loneliness. Why am I lonely? Why am I lonely? I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. So somebody suggested, instead of thinking I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, why don't you say others are also alone? Let me try and fix that. Very, very beautiful thought, um, which has good, what do you call, results. Good results. Anyway, so you understand this, right? Whose mind is not agitated by sorrow nor excited by joy, who is free from desire, fear, and anger, he is called sage of steady wisdom. Okay. Any questions? Okay. If not, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, we'll meet next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.